Italy's Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, our favorite, the blonde lady, is nowadays facing the heat on social media from her own followers. They are accusing her of being pro NATO, pro elite, and pro Ukraine, something really unacceptable for her right wing followers. After becoming the country's prime minister, Meloni has surprisingly taken a pro Ukraine turn, risking her own and her party's popularity. But, that streak is finally coming to an end. Italy is soon going to subscribe to Russia's rubles in order to bypass hurdles induced by US sanctions. According to Russian state media, a payment regime is being set up between traders of Italy and Russia to trade in unsanctioned goods. Basically, the regime will not violate American sanctions. However, it will make trade easier in all unsanctioned goods. The president of the Italian Russian Chamber of Commerce said, "We want to create a system that would allow Russian buyers to pay us in rubles to an account in a third country so that we could then forward the money to Italy. After all, the payments are not subject to sanctions, only certain goods." So both nations would use a third country to settle their trade. I won't be surprised if that third country turns out to be India. The move will greatly help the Italian economy as 49% of the trade between Italy and Russia happens in unsanctioned goods. But trading in dollars with Russia is a big no since Russia has been booted out of the SWIFT payment system. So, interestingly, what is happening here is sanctions on Russia are actually aiding anti USD efforts in Europe. Anyway, let's get back to Meloni, who appears to be shifting her course on Russia. Perhaps we can call it course correction. Italian foreign minister also said last month that Italy was not against Russia and that we should not interfere in Russia's internal matters. And this ongoing course correction is required too. Italian people and businessmen have already suffered a lot due to the ongoing tensions with Russia induced by US sanctions. A lot of Italian companies had to abandon the Russian market after US imposed sanctions last year. That has to stop now, not because her anti-Russia moves could have serious implications for Italy's economy, but also for her popularity. Make no mistake, a quarter of Italians, which is a significant number for a European country, they support solid ties with Russia. Italy still remains, as in the people, the most pro-Russia country in the West. Pro-Russia sentiments are found everywhere in Italy, from academia, media, to think tanks. These ties are historical. Italy once had the largest communist party in the West, and it saw in Russia an antidote to the US. And needless to say, Ukraine is the biggest loser here as Rome changes its Russia policy. Since Ukraine's counteroffensive against Russia went bust and turned out to be a flop show, a facade, it is fast losing confidence among Western allies. In fact, UK Defense Secretary publicly chided Ukraine earlier this month for not showing enough gratitude for the massive weapons that London has been sending. Now, Italy too seems to be growing impatient with Kyiv, and it has moved on to forge deeper trade ties with Moscow in order to put its own house in order.